And now we'll move on to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Baja Valley Healthcare District. Rosie, when you're ready, can you please give us a roll call?
Here, Director Creel. Here. Director Gallagher.
Yes, here.
Director Pimentel.
Here. Here. There's nothing to report from closed session. Any agenda modifications for consideration from staff for tonight's meeting? Yep. Seeing none, I'll open up the public comment on matters not on tonight's agenda. Seeing no one with us online, anyone wishing to speak on anything here? Okay, no, I'll close down the public comment and ask the board members if for any comments from the board. Okay, seeing none, I'll close down the comment section for the board members and open up the consent agenda. You have two items tonight. One that the board of directors for the hospital corporation reviewed earlier. And another is a minutes approval for our previous meeting on February 26th. Any questions from the board or staff on either of these two items?
No, just to comment, to your point, which you made, the monthly financial performance report was thoroughly reviewed earlier today in our hospital board meeting and previously by the finance committee.
Okay, so seeing, I do have to open it up to public comment. Seeing no one with us online, I'll ask people in public if they want to have any comments for this item. Seeing none, I'll close down the public comment portion and I'll entertain a motion for the two consent calendar items.
I'll motion to approve.
Do I have first and a second? Ready for roll call?
Thank you. Director Cox and Gallagher. Roll on this item. Director Cox. Yes. Director Creel. Yes. Director Gallagher.
Yes.
Pimentel.
Yes.
Yes. So now we'll move on to item number 3, or final item for tonight. It's the update for the Baja Valley Healthcare District project, better known as Watsonville Community Hospital Foundation. June, whenever you're ready, please. Always good to see you.
No, good evening. I always feel like I can get away with not having my readers, but I really don't. I don't know how that happened. Good evening, board chair, Nunez and chair. Healthcare District Board, June Ponce here, Executive Director at Watsonville Community Hospital Foundation. I'm so happy to give this report with a little minor incident that I'm not sure how it happened, but I'm sure that we will get it squared away. Let's see. So just a reminder who we are. We are a supporting organization who is here to amplify the work and impact we do in our community at Watsonville Community Hospital. We're a philanthropic, innovative partner to you. And really, we are trying, and our hope is always to increase access to our Baja Valley residents. Our values are very much in line to what the hospital and the district values are, which is trust, gratitude, community engagement, and always forward thinking. So these are just reminders of who we are, how we partner, and how we work separately but together all in. Just a reminder who our board is. We have a fantastic group of board members and staff members. Very pleased to have Andrea Carlos Willie as our president and Brent Dunton as our treasurer and Janet Hine, who's our secretary, our new City Watsonville vice mayor, Crystal Salcido, Matt Cobranges, and Dr. Claypool. And we hope to bring, next slide, 2 additional board members on board. We have planned to bring them to the table. I don't know how it was not added to the agenda to include them as a board member, but for some reason, I don't probably have to bring it next month. But the foundation board has approved the following board members as new foundation board members. We have Catherine Barr, who is the executive director of the Monterey Bay Certified Farmers Market. She does farmers markets from Monterey, Carmel, all the way to Aptos. She has connections and very much rooted in the Pajaro Valley, connections to multiple small business owners, farmers, and she has been a complete cheerleader and supporter of our foundation. She's also a member of Friends of Watsonville Community Hospital Foundation. She was part of the committee who helped put the gala for us last year. And we also have Carla Rodriguez Lomax, who has been an excellent partner to the foundation and the hospital as well. She currently serves as a senior public affairs director for the South Bay and Central Coast Kaiser Permanente. The foundation board has met with each of these individuals, and they both highly expressed interest in supporting all our efforts. We are going to be excited to have them join your group. Next slide. I wanted to brief you on what the Packard Foundation, we have a long-standing relationship with the Packard Foundation. They've been excellent partners, and when we became a community hospital, they were kind enough to provide us with a small, very small interest investment loan. I wanted to brief you on an update of where we are with that investment loan. The original amount was $6.3 million. And just last year, we've been paying, and thankfully our committed donors have been paying as well, making their pledge payments. And in March, we made a significant payment of $1.9 million. In September, to support the hospital, we made an additional payment of $500,000. That leaves us with a balance of $2.3 million. Right now, I'm in the process of producing a wire transfer, working with our bank to ensure that we submit a payment of $1.4 million by this Friday. That will leave us with a balance of about $900,000, which is due in January of 2026. I'm extremely grateful for our donors. There's a group that is certainly very committed and have been in close contact with me saying, how are we doing? How are we doing? And so forever, I am grateful for their ongoing support. Next slide. And I just wanted to share a snapshot on how the foundation is supporting the hospital from a different capacity. Just in September, we hosted the leadership retreat. That was all sponsored by the foundation. Again, the board, I mentioned the board because they're very supportive of the work that we do in partnership with the hospital. So the board decided, hey, you know what, if this is our way to support the hospital, let's make sure that we help with doing a leadership retreat. The logo development that you will see with our new logo and branding, that was a donor who is a friend of the foundation, and I called him up and I said, I need your help with this. Is it possible that you help us? And so the new logo design that you will see for both hospital, district, clinics, and foundation is a friend of the foundation, and we help support and give him the stipend for his incredible work that is worth thousands. So we are so incredibly kind to him. Also, the sponsorship of the State of the Hospital event, as you can see the invitation. Back in November, the foundation board had a retreat. Tony, Steve were included, and one of our consultants said, you know what? Your donors and leaders want to see a State of the Hospital. They're investors. What are we going to do about this? And so, our foundation board was very enthusiastic about having and hosting and supporting the hospital to host a State of the Hospital. So that will be coming up. We're super excited about that. I think it's something that certainly we would look into hosting every year. And the other thing, along with the state of the hospital, I felt it was important to provide some materials and provide some sort of an annual report that can serve as a sharing the story of who we are. And so we are investing some funds to produce a beautiful annual report to the community. My hope, and we're still working on, is to possibly see how we can make it economical to send through the district members, district residents within our healthcare district. So more to come on that. We're really excited about that piece, and I think people all like it. Next slide. So I heard in the meetings how we have been investing. Our cath lab is top of mind of how important it is for our cath lab to be open. The foundation has managed to secure a couple grants to really fund that project. I am really excited about that project because it's been a lot of work. And we're excited that we just are investing right now over $163 million to purchase a state-of-the-art Impella device. And also provide the essential startup tools that the cath lab team needs in order to open. The other item is that thanks to the support of the Service League and Dominican, we just purchased 2 ultrasound machines to help support our nurses and our team. And we've also have other grants. We are in the process of purchasing other medical equipment that we have secured funding for. So lots of medical purchase devices that need to be purchased, and we hope that our team is happy about that. Next slide. Hey, this is the project that I'm really excited to speak to you about. So we launched a year ago, an employee giving fund. We have very generous employees who are giving to our employee giving fund. The idea was to create an opportunity to create a positive impact within our departments and our team members. And so the goal is to provide mini grants, right? Based on this fund that was created about a year ago. We've developed enough cushion where we felt, okay, here's an allotted amount. How are we going to reinvest this money back into the hospital? We've done that. There were certain guidelines that were created, and the certain guidelines included making sure that what was being reinvested back to the hospital had 4 impact areas. That included staff wellness, patient-focused initiatives, hospital equipment, and training or professional development. February 1st, we launched the application process to all internal employees. Whether or not you contribute to the employee giving fund, which is payroll deduction, it doesn't matter. Everyone was eligible to apply. Next slide. I'm sharing with you the results. We had allocated $30,000 to be reinvested back into the hospital. We've developed a 7-member board, grant committee review. We received a total of 36 grant applications, requesting over $83,000. That was a lot. I only had 30,000 available. The impact areas were as followed: 31% were requesting hospital equipment, 28% were for staff wellness, 28% for patient-focused initiatives, and 14% were training and professional development. I do want to highlight that I had an excellent group of committee members. They were members who are current donors to this fund. And I'm just gonna highlight who they are. It's Penny Smiley, Anna Branges, Jennifer Gavin, Karen Skillicorn, and Sylvia Paris, and two staff members from the foundation. We're very excited with the results. Because we only had 30,000 allocated, the foundation board said these are incredible and decided to allow for an additional 5,000 to be funded. Some of the funded projects include for the respiratory department, a CPAP machine for patients, for our coastal health clinic, which we are growing our clinics. They needed a couple technology and computer items and iPads, so our patients, when they walk in, they can register quickly. Our emergency department needed some communication, walkie-talkies, so that they can speak with the lobby and the back office. Radiology department needed a cushion for ultrasound, their gurney, which they were so happy about. We got a podiatry chair for wound center patients, et cetera, et cetera. This is just a partial list of the items that we will be purchasing in the next couple of months. It's been really exciting. The award letters went out later on today, and the response from the recipients, it just made my day. It made my day. So I didn't think that an item that was 1,000, it just means so much to staff members. It just makes my job worthwhile. Next slide. Okay, it's coming up. We've secured the date, September 13th. Twilight Tapestry Gala is happening again. It's going to be September, same location, same spot. We just had so much great reviews from last year that we're hosting it again, and we hope to raise as much money, if not more.
Yeah.
But next slide. Oh, that's it. And you know I can talk for more. But that's all I have right now.
It's not
Any
time.
questions?
Any questions for Jim?
Yeah, a few questions, but what, from like a cash out perspective, how much does the foundation, what does the foundation currently have?
In terms of what?
Cash.
Cash.
What's your balance as of your last month, or last financial?
We have some cash. We have some cash right now because we have this money that we're paying to borrow this week. So there's some restricted funds, some that is allocated by the board to have as reserves in case some of the pledge payments don't come through. We do have some wiggle room in terms of unrestricted funds. But those funds are to support some of the foundation work, to pay for our annual reports, to pay for our attorneys. We do have some funds available that are unrestricted. I believe I shared that in our meeting in November or October. At that time, I don't have it off the top of my head. We have about I want to say 600.
Do you have enough?
I can review that. I can share that with you.
So you're comfortable that we have enough to make payments that are due on the Packard loan?
For the Packard,
Yeah, you have enough for the 1.4 and the 900,000. You have some extra restricted, you have 34,000 funded for the
I do.
DOE and.
they're all in different buckets and funds, and so
And order of magnitude about 5 or 6 hundred. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to get a sense, like,
yeah.
or get down to the last 5,000, or do you have like sitting on 5 million, what's the range of?
I wish I would have had 5 million, but I don't.
Yeah,
That was my goal for this year, and it still is my goal for this year. No, I'm very cautious and conservative with our funds. just because we don't know the situation of, there's still some pending pledge payments that need to happen till the end of the year, that are quite significant. So I need to be cautious. I need to set aside some of those unrestricted funds for those specific reasons. I have had contact and communication with those donors that have not made their pledge payment, and are sort of waiting for this third year. So we've been in ongoing conversation, but I can't base it on conversation.
Yeah.
I need to be conservative.
Like two follow-up, one is on the Packard. How much of the Packard loan is being paid by matching? Committed or working on, like, is it half, are we getting an order of magnitude, is half of the Packard loan money being funded by old matches, or are we having to fundraise for nearly all of it to pay the Packard loan? Remind me how that,
That was a 3-year pledge commitment, right? So that's $6.3 million. The donors decided when they were going to make those pledge payments. It's all based really on relationship, and it's based on their continued commitment to the hospital and what they see in results. I do have one particular not board member, but donor who said, I need to see what the hospital is doing, and then I will be able to provide the significant amount. So
theory, if everybody comes through on their pledges, the pledges should cover our payment of the package. And
then we set aside some funds, those will then be freed up.
and on employee giving, is the 30,000 that was allocated, that what we projected to receive in employee giving, realizing that it's gonna fluctuate while they're, are we getting like order of magnitude 5,000 employee giving into we're funding the rest, like what, how did we arrive at 30,000? How much is being actually provided?
It's all based on how many employees participate on the fund.
Yeah.
100% of those funds are being reinvested in the employee giving. It's funds that are set aside specifically for that. So based on the allocated amount that I've been fundraising for about a year.
Yeah.
30K was available with just a tiny bit of reserve, with some reserve in case, I don't know, in 3 months they'll purchase the new equipment and it's $200 more. I need to have some, very cautious, I need to have some in reserve on the just in case. So it'll allow for us to save an additional monies for this coming next grant cycle. And my hope is that this will encourage other employees to give. That if they give $5, $10, it really adds up. My goal is to raise that. Right now it was 30, next year, probably 50 or more. Depending how folks react to this.
And then on the employee giving, I feel like I'm not as intellectually, I'm not making sense of my question, but I hope you understand. It'd be like, how are we ensuring employees know that their contribution is being used in this way? How are we communicating? Hey, great news, we've got 34,000 budget, this is how it's all gonna be allocated. Like, how is that communicated back to all of our employee donors?
All right, so that information will be coming out. This is the first.
Yep.
This is the first, so award letters went out today. There will be an award letter or recognition information to all staff. So all staff received, they know that this was happening, that it was all employee giving funding. Everyone could apply. So now we're going back to the staff members and saying, guess what? Look what your colleagues did. We're reinvesting back into the hospital, and here's your opportunity for you to grow that fund. Right, so that's the intent. And one of the things I do monthly is when we have orientation for new staff members, I do make a presentation and make a pitch. I can't, I do what I can in those first initial meetings, but I think by employees seeing this process and actually seeing that their dollars are being invested back to them, I think it'll create a greater fund. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, you got it all. You got it. You're just, yes, you got me. Good.
If I could expand on the Packard loan, being a part of the board that was divided up into all the different things that we were doing in that first from March to September, like sprint to purchase it. Like June said, it was all conversations. It was people going to folks who were passionate and understood why this hospital had to be successful. And then them still being a little skeptical of, we're in a bankruptcy, how are we not gonna end up in bankruptcy once again? And the Packard Foundation did an amazing thing by offering us this opportunity to essentially saying, we will give you the money now. Go show your investors, go show your donors that you guys can do this. It's a huge opportunity that the project secured and that allowed us to complete the purchase of the hospital. And now, I keep saying 2025 is a big year, not just because, we're back on our feet, at least, and not as sturdy back on our feet as I would have liked us to be at this point, but it's a big year because it's a show me year for some of those Packard Foundation or some of the Packard loan folks who said, year 3, you guys make it a year 3, I will come through and I will make due on this pledge. Huge year for us because of that reason, but also because, the foundation is up and running and we're able to do something like an annual report that we can show. This is where the hospital used to be. This is where we're at now. This is the plan to get us where we want to be. And so, like June said, it's all conversations. It's all relationships. As someone who does fundraising as well too, that's all it is conversations, relationships, and showing people that their investment is going to the greater good, and obviously the greater good that we specialize in the hospitals to take care of people and make sure that they get the healthcare that they deserve. So, but totally understand the questions. I think the loan really provided us with an opportunity to give all of the folks who were passionate and had the funds but at the same time, we're a little skeptical of like, how are you different from what we did 10 years ago? Gave them an opportunity to still invest and say, okay, show me. And we're showing them. So I'm happy about that. Any other questions or any other comments for June?
I will acknowledge something, start beginning on March 14th. Were you planning to retrograde? And staying there, they looked at all forms of communication, so I'm blaming that. But I also, to the extent when we get there, it'd be helpful to have like this level of information in the staff report. So me, I'm just reacting in the moment to the slide deck, and I have so my brain's popping on different questions. So to the extent we can get a little bit more information in the board report about this kind of high level overview, just help us be more articulate, or help me be more articulate.
It's perfect. And I have an open door policy. Call me, walk in. I'm good about that. Super good about that.
I'm super excited to hear about the respective board members. I appreciate all the very board. It's been a phenomenal.
I'm just really happy. I think what carries the work that I do and what the foundation does and is that I can recall and was part of that team of fundraising the $67 million. That was not easy. That was absolutely not easy. And the following year, turning around and going back to our donors and say, hey, we're doing a fundraising to do a capital, to do a Measure M. We just gave you money. Why? Because it's for the greater good, because what I'm asking for the 20,000 really is going to translate to $100 million. And again, our community delivered. That's over 200,000, close to 200,000 that are 200 million that our community has given in 3 years. So It's a lot. I have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to be thankful. We have a wonderful hospital and providing access to healthcare. That's what we're doing. And so I think the state of the hospital is going to be a perfect way to go back to them and say, look, here's how we reinvested your money and keep joining us on this ride. Go with us. We're thinking big, we're going big.
Any other comments? I have a couple comments I want to make. To June's point about it being all relationship based, and I went a couple weeks ago. One of our service for Community Bridges lift line was featured at the Santa Cruz Warriors at the halftime, and so I went down there and do an interview, and I ran into Rocky Franich after. He was just there. He's like, "Oh, my first Santa Cruz Warrior game. First thing, didn't want to talk Community Bridges, didn't want to talk anything else." He's like, "How's the hospital going?" And I had just talked with him a week prior at Rotary, and same thing. How's the hospital going? So people are invested. People want to know what's going on, and people who have really deep ties in this community care about this hospital and are just so passionate about this. And so I have little doubt that the people who have made their pledge in Packard will come through, right? I feel like people have seen that we're doing the work and that it has been challenging, but that we're doing the work nonetheless. The other comment that I had is, as someone who does mass mailers throughout the community, I know a big part of the budget is obviously the printing, but then the delivery costs associated with that. So you have one delivery boy here if you want to have me as a volunteer, and I'm sure other people within the hospital, just as a community engagement part of it, of going neighborhood to neighborhood, delivering these annual reports door to door. I used to do it when I was 10 for the Potteronian. I'd love to do it for now that I'm 33 for this hospital. So any way that we can cut costs on that, because it's an awesome communication piece. It's a great progress report for where we're at, where we're going. And then the storytelling component as well that's in those annual reports is critical for people to understand what we're doing and the progress we've made. So you got a volunteer right here if you need any help with that.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
I've got a neighborhood for you.
Perfect. Any other comments before I do have to open up to public comment, but anything else? No? Let's see anyone I'm sorry, I don't see anyone, what was it, Mercury went to retro?
Yeah, great.
No comments online, but please, comments in public.
Can I just stand here?
Sure, of course.
So I wanted to commend June. I was honored to be able to participate in the employee giving.
Mhm.
It was really cool. So I'm a 30-year employee. I started in 1994, and I had the lowest number of years at the table. It was cool.
Yeah.
And the other cool part, it was very invigorating because we sat there and it wasn't, okay, I put stuff in for the pharmacy, so I'm gonna just vote for my stuff, right? It was great. It was this collaborative, high-level conversation on, okay, as employees, we've raised this much money, and we're gonna give it back to the employees for the patients. And how are we gonna do that? And this makes sense, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, no, you said we weren't gonna do that, but let's do this. It was really, really cool. It was just a good process, and I thank June for letting me participate. And so some of the slides that maybe seemed rushed, it was because I think we're also excited on wanting to get it out there. And because I had been talking with June, and she was, okay, we should list this, we should list that. Because the employees they're gonna be so excited when they see not toys, but that it's like Christmas.
Mhm.
It's gonna be like Christmas, and so I'm very grateful and thank you, and I wanted to show support for June.
Thank you. Anyone else who should speak on this? No. Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back for any closing comments or not. There are none, and I'll turn this. All right, cool. Thank you.